Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning, 9:15 a.m. Central Time. It must be time for the CSLDallas Science of Mind class, where every week we dive a little bit deeper into the writing of Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind book. And my name is Tracy Brown, and I am so delighted to be with you this morning. Please join me by taking a breath and simply centering in this moment, this perfect moment, this eternal moment, committed to growth and learning, an exploration of life itself, guided by the principles of science of mind. This is good, I claim it as so, and we affirm it together by saying, and so it is. Wow, so we are in the chapter titled The Law of Attraction. It is chapter 18. And we're going to begin today at the bottom of page 299 in the section labeled Attracting Success. In this chapter, what Ernest Holmes does is he breaks down the spiritual principle of the law of attraction, and he describes it as it applies and as it shows up in our lives. So last week we had a chance to look at what does it mean to attract personality, what does it mean to attract friends, what do we need to do, what does our mindset need to be. And in fact, he began the chapter with thought atmosphere, the atmosphere of thought that we have, and how it is like the soil within which the seeds we plant attract what they need. So we're going to dive into attracting success. We mean by demonstration, or bringing into our experience something which we had not experienced before, bringing it in as the result of conscious thought. And unless it is possible to do this, our whole science is a mistake and a delusion. Unless there is a divine principle, universal soul, or subjectivity, a medium which of itself, without any help or assistance, can produce things and will produce things, then there is nothing in this teaching. But there is a divine principle, and what it does for us, it must do through us. Our part in demonstration is to set the word in motion, thus compelling, through the law of subjectivity, the result or manifestation. So I'm going to continue, but I just want to capture from that paragraph this reminder that all demonstration is bringing into our experience something that we had not experienced before, and our part in the demonstration is to set things in motion, to compel through our commitment, through our mental atmosphere, to compel the law of subjectivity or the law of response to respond to us and to manifest. First full paragraph at the top of page 300. The subjective state of a man's thought decides what is going to happen to him in his objective experience. The subjective state of his thought is the sum total of his thinking and knowing. It is the medium between the relative and the absolute, between the limitless and the conditioned. Whatever is involved in it will evolve. Therefore, when there is no longer anything in our mentality which denies our word, a demonstration will be made. Nothing can stop it, for the law is absolute. We should approach the law normally and naturally and with a sense of ease. There is nothing peculiar or weird about it. It is a natural law working in a normal way and must be thought of in this light. We should come to consider the law and the spirit as friends and think of them as such. In this way, we shall gradually go from good to more good, from peace to greater peace. This is the natural unfoldment of reality through humanity. We should expect the best, and so live that the best may become a part of our experience. Now, as Ernest Holmes continues to write, he gives some really powerful examples. So as I share a couple of these examples, I want you to think about your own examples where this has happened in your life, because in a few minutes, I'm going to be asking you, has this rung true for you? Is there a way that you are seeing and recognizing that you have used the law of attraction to attract success in some ways? So Ernest Holmes goes on to write, suppose one wishes more activity in her business, more success. Every day she should see her place filled with people, see them looking at and finding pleasure in her merchandise, see them comparing prices and realizing she is offering good values, see them delighted with the service she is giving, see them cheerful, beaming, expansive as they enjoy the atmosphere of her place. See the uplift which the spirit of her goodwill gives them. Make a mental picture of it all. We are dealing with intelligence, capital I, intelligence, and we should recognize the power we are working with, realizing our oneness with it, and then we should ask for what we wish and take it. If we were treating for activity in a store we owned in Boston, we would not be treating someone in Kalamazoo for the mumps and expect that the store would demonstrate more success. We must be specific in what we do, while at the same time never outlining how it should be done. Remember, we are dealing with intelligence. It's going to evolve our concept exactly as we involve it. So that's an example that is really powerful, and even though Ernest Holmes put that example in the context of running a business, how does it work in your life? Have you used that same focus, that same visualizing exactly what the end result will be in your own life, whether it be in relationships or financial success or success in creating a family that works, relationships in a family that works, career, neighborhood? Where have you used the law of attraction and you've actually seen it demonstrated? So I'm curious. I'd love to hear your examples, or if you have questions about how to make this work better in your life, you can ask a question as well. So Ryan, how about some reminders or instructions for people who might be with us for the first time?
Great, and good morning to everybody, and good morning to you, Tracy, Dr. Tracy Brown. And as always, welcome to everybody who's watching us on the Zoom and the Facebook Live. We love and appreciate you, and we love to hear from you. So now is your opportunity to share your examples or questions or comments with us, and there's a couple of different ways that you could do that. If you're joining us in the Zoom room, you can always hit the raise your hand icon, or you can put your questions in the comments or question field, and we will bring them into the room. The same goes true for those who are watching us on Facebook Live. Feel free to pitch your questions inside of the comment field, and we will bring them into the room as well. And I always like to mention that we do keep it anonymous because we want to create a safe container for anybody to express what they're going through. So yes, if anybody'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you. And okay, so one of the ones that I'm seeing here is a TSRW coming in from Facebook. And what they're saying is that they were able, in so many different ways, to have this by being able to purchase and buying a new home, transitioning into a new job, and finding a new life partner. So that's one of them.
That's great. That's amazing. And it is true, when you see momentum in one part of your life, you often will feel or reflect that momentum in many parts of our lives as well. So that is a great example. And TSRW, in case there's someone who doesn't know what that means, this science, this stuff, this that we teach really works. TSRW.
So yeah, one of the questions that had come through, it has to deal with this, I guess what we would say, self-imposed barrier of fear.
Yes.
Right? So they're saying that they have a vision for their life and what they've wanted, and where they're supposed to be at in their life right now, but they're finding that they're actually not there. They've done vision boards, they've done classes and workshops, but they're still not finding themselves there. So what could be the barrier?
I love that. I love that because it's so real and it happens to every one of us. So first, to the question, what might be the barrier? Everything inside of me is like, why do you think there's a barrier? There may not be a barrier. It may be all unfolding in the perfect way at the perfect time, and it's our human expectation or judgment that's saying, well, I don't have it now, so maybe it's not going to happen. Or I don't have it now, and so I must be doing something wrong. I don't have it now. But every time we're thinking that, we're actually affirming, I don't have it now. And so we have to balance multiple things that are happening at the same time. We do have to have the mental atmosphere that this chapter started off with, of clarity about what we want, what we expect, in the mental equivalent, in the spiritual prototype. I want relationships that work. I want to work in a job where people value my skills and I'm respected and I earn enough money, or I earn the money that my service is worth. And we have to hold that, and the universe is putting all the pieces together to deliver that. Where it gets tricky, and what sometimes feels so much like a barrier, is the things that in our human mind we are putting there as it must look a specific way, or a timeline that is arbitrary. We must have it. And sometimes that works for us, and sometimes it works against us. So I would look at a couple of things internally. I would reflect on, are there things I'm saying that this image or this goal must have that I really don't need? Like, what's the big picture of the image of what I want? How do I want to feel? What kind of people do I want to be with? What qualities or attributes of God do I want to be expressing? Oh, okay, so maybe I can let go of this little detail and this little detail and open up for the universe to find the right combination and give me something even beyond my expectations. So that's one thing to look at. Another thing to look at really is, how often am I affirming that I don't have it? I don't have it yet. Still, I don't have it is the lead to that. So if I catch myself focusing on it's not here, it hasn't happened, I don't have it, then I want to do some deliberate spiritual practice around affirming what I want instead of affirming that I don't have it or what I'm not getting. So it's such a subtle shift, but instead of I don't have it or it hasn't happened yet, I would probably just do a simple shift of, I'm so excited that it's on its way. I'm so excited that I am experiencing this good soon. I am beginning to feel the excitement. It's happening. It's right around the corner. Like shifting the energetic so that I can move back into alignment with what I am wanting and not what I'm disappointed or what I feel is delay. And that brings me to the third thing that I often do when I find myself in that situation. I repeat over and over and over again. Delay is not denial. Delay is not denial. Delay is not denial. To remind myself and ground myself in the spiritual principle that what feels like a delay in my human experience is not the same as the universe denying that experience to come to me. So when I use that one sentence over and over, delay is not denial, delay is not denial, I open up a channel and an affirmation that what I want is in the process of manifesting. So I hope that helps. Ryan, do you have anything else?
Yes, and I just wanted to share another TSRW, and it goes back to what we were talking about last week about friendships. And so this person says that I began writing a treatment for close friends close by, and before I had finished, I had found that there was a lady moving next door. And that person, who is also friends with another neighborhood person, started meeting up within a week. They also received an invite to get together with another woman from outside of that neighborhood. And as you go, there you see, now you're a part of a community. So it's funny how that works. She was doing a mind treatment, and then even before she knew it, somebody's moving next door, and turns into a conversation, turns into a thing. And so I thought that was really cool, because manifestation, a lot of times people think about materialistic things, right?
Yes.
I want the parking spot, I want the green car, convertible,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. But we don't often associate it with the relationships in our life. So
Yes, that is so beautiful. And in the last part that I read a few minutes ago, Ernest Holmes said we must be specific in what we do, while at the same time never outlining how it shall be done, at the top of page 301. And this is such a tricky thing to navigate, but that TSRW is a great example. I'm setting the mental atmosphere. I am open to and I am desiring close friends. Without saying, so that means I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And we're going to follow these 10 action steps. And at the end of those 10 action steps, I'm going to have new close friends. So that would be outlining step by step by step by step. But when we understand how the law of attraction works, what happens instead is we are able to get really clear about the end result and leave most of the specific action steps to the guidance of the universe. So if I were doing a treatment and establishing a mental atmosphere for close friends, I know I wouldn't think to say, so okay, God, give me a new close friend in the house next door that is up for sale or that just got sold, and then make sure they know that somebody else in the neighborhood who lives close by that I'm gonna like, and then, right, I wouldn't think of that. But the universe was like, okay, I got you. Here's someone you're gonna really resonate with, and their network is gonna become your network, and then you'll meet more people and do things together. It's like the universe is putting people and places in order. That is the divine order of manifestation, and we attract it by working with it. Now, I will make this comment because sometimes when we talk about be specific in what we do, at the same time, don't outline it step by step by step. It can feel really confusing. It can feel like, wait, you're telling me to be specific, but then you're telling me not to outline. And so when I'm doing a treatment, should I say what I want and describe it in detail? Or should I just say, give me joy and peace? So please don't just take a breath if that's feeling confusing, and understand that as we're talking about the law of attraction, it's important for you to know what you want in the big picture and leave room for spirit to connect you with the right people, even though there are some things that you may do consciously, your own spiritual work. You may ask people you know to introduce you to folks, but you're not filling in every tiny step along the way. That would be outlining. Ryan.
So, Tracy, I see some comments around this question, so I want to hear what your take is on it.
Okay.
How important is it to release form when it comes to manifesting success?
Oh, how important is it to release form when it comes to manifesting success? So there are three things that come to mind immediately. One, how do you define success? So depending on how you are defining success will also determine how much form you can release. So if you're talking about success in life overall, I feel my life is very successful. Are you talking about how much money you have generated or how much money and reserves you have in the bank? Are you talking about how you feel? Are you talking about no matter what I do, there is joy, I experience joy? So, do you release form? Yes. And the exception is when you are defining success based on things that do have a form. So there's not an easy or clear-cut yes, no, because it depends on how you have defined success for yourself. And that's one of the things that's so beautiful about our human experience is it's up to us to define how we each individually, what we each individually consider success, as well as collectively by city or by society, by nationality, by any identity group, what we determine success is, then that determines what success looks like. So if you're talking about success in the spiritual sense, your life is successful as long as you are living it, and spirit has no connection to the form, what you do, how you do it, what you choose. If you're talking about success on the human scale, it's a little more complicated.
I love your answers, Tracy. And I love your questions, everybody who's watching. And I haven't heard anybody raise their hand here in the Zoom room. Isn't that strange?
That's unusual.
Oh, look, we have somebody who rose their hand. Rose, right? Raise, right?
Raised
Okay.
their hand.
There we go. All right, Brenda, would you like to go ahead and unmute yourself? Well, it looked like she disappeared. Okay, would anybody else like to rate? Oh, there she goes. Okay. Brenda, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Brenda. We're having trouble hearing you, so take a breath and there you go. Now.
Hello, am I here?
Now I can hear you.
That's just a great example. Just right there. Hello, good morning, everybody. Wow, what a great topic, because in this past week, I and a dear friend of mine at CSL have been going through very parallel processes, and I've been able to see, if not in myself, then in reflecting with their process and them reflecting my process, two really potential toe catch points that we had in the process that I think we've overcome, but I'd love to hear you address it. So in both cases, we were each on the verge, within sight and taste and touch of the outcome of something we had manifested and put forth and worked for a long time. And the outcome is almost there. And there's that last minute, oh my God, it's all gonna fall apart. It's all gonna blow up, and I'm not gonna get it at the last minute. And realizing that, for me, the image was St. George slaying the dragon, and you've done the mortal thrust, and the dragon's dropped, and you've dropped your sword in exhaustion, and then there's one last rear that you have to muster your strength and have that faith to overcome. So I witnessed that. And going along with that and talking with this person, for both of us, the idea of we've worked so hard and pushed, and we've done the very last thing we can possibly do. And thinking, okay, it's done, now what? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And to realize that planting the seed, or even seeing the sprout, doesn't yet mean that all of the harvest has come in. Even though you know the fruit that's going to be born from that tree, but you have to have the patience for it to go through its cycles to bear. So, blessings to be here. I love your comments.
That is perfect. Like, there is a part of me that just wants to take that, 5 or 6 minutes and edit it out and make a whole Sunday talk around that, because it's so on target. So the law of attraction is working always, and I love this idea of recognizing when it looks like it's right here, and as you described, you can see it, taste it, touch it, you could feel it, you're right on the edge, and then it seems like there's a barrier there. Or even if that barrier is not physical, for many people, it becomes a barrier of belief, because it reveals that deep down inside, there was always a little part that was being held back, that, maybe it's really not going to happen, or I'm not sure if it really works, or, I know it works for this person, but I'm not sure it will work for me. And so I love the way that you described being able to recognize that last little piece of the barrier. You keep going toward the goal. You keep trusting that the universe is working in your favor. You keep looking for support, and that's one of the places most of us fail. We go within and we give up, or we say, see, told you so, it wasn't going to happen. But when we seek support, we can have the experience that you had of, whoa, wait a minute, the universe is still supporting me, or seeing it in someone else. That, well, you can't give up now. I know it's going to happen for you. When that happens and we keep going and we take the next step, you said something, Brenda, at the very end that is super powerful. No matter how big or small the manifestation is, it really is just like the first sprout. There's always going to be more. The universe is not only expressing, it is expanding and evolving. That's what it does. And so when we are in alignment with the law of attraction, everything that happens is a part of that seeding, then sprouting, then growing, and it's always leading to something greater. So even when we get to the point where what we were dreaming of is right here, right now, and it is real, it is informed, it's not the end. It's like, okay, now I'm here. What can come next? What do I want to attract now that I have attracted and manifested this? And that's why it is really important for us to understand that this is a spiritual principle, a spiritual law. It never stops working. It works the same for everyone, and we are either in alignment with it or we're in alignment with it. What do I mean? We're always in alignment with it. So if we believe that something can't happen, we will attract it not happening. Because the law of attraction is always working, no matter what. If I believe I'm an idiot and I never get things right and I always screw things up, the universe says yes. And in that way, I'm attracting success. I'm successfully attracting that which I believe and that which I claim about myself and the world. If I believe that racism is the only way that humanity can express or build relationship, then that is what's going to happen if I and millions of other people believe that. That's the only thing that can manifest, and the universe is manifesting successfully that which we hold in mind. So it's really important that we get clear about what we want to do, what kind of world we want to live in, and we refuse to believe that anything less than that is the limit. Now, I was really careful there. I didn't say we refuse to believe it's real, because we're experiencing it in our world. So there's a physical reality to it. But as Howard Thurman wrote, it's not that the sense of separation is not authentic. It's that it's not absolute. So when we find ourselves separated from the best that life has to offer, it's authentically happening in the human experience, but it's not absolute. It is not a reflection of the absolute love, joy, beauty, wholeness that is spirit seeking to express in each one of us. So I want to go just and see if we can go a little bit further in this section. And near the bottom of page, or halfway down page 301, Ernest Holmes wrote, "We live in mind, and it can return to us only what we think into it. No matter what we do, law will always obtain. If we are thinking of ourselves as poor and needy, then mind has no choice but to return what we have thought into it. It is done unto you as you believe. Thoughts of failure, limitation, or poverty are negative and must be counted out of our lives for all time. God has given us a power and we must use it. We can do more towards saving the world by proving this law than all that charity has ever given to it. Remember, God is the power, the silent power behind all things, always ready to pour into our experience that which we need. We must have a receptive and positive faith in the evidence of things not seen with the physical eye, but which are eternal in the heavens. All is mind, and we must prove a receptive avenue for it as it passes out through us into outer expressions of our affairs. If we allow the world's opinion to control our thinking, then that will be our demonstration. And so this entire section in the chapter of Law of Attraction, this entire section on attracting success just reminds us that we first have to define what is success. Then we must choose to be clear about what we want without doing the detail of outlining. And then we must, as he says in the last paragraph in this section, we must begin to blot out one by one all false beliefs, all ideas that humanity is limited, poor, or miserable. Refuse to think of failure or to doubt your own power. See only what you wish to experience and look at nothing else. We are relieved of all thought of clinging to anybody or anything. The universe is inexhaustible. It is limitless. It knows no bounds and has no confines. I just have to repeat that. And where do you see this in your life? The universe is inexhaustible. It is limitless, knows no bounds, and has no confines. We are not depending on a reed that is shaken by the wind, but on the principle of life itself for all that we have or ever shall need. It is not some power or a great power. It is all power. This is what we are using to attract that which we want. You have access to it. We all do. There's a power for good in the universe available to all, and we can use it. You can use it. And one of the ways you use it is through the law of attraction. So this entire chapter continues to take us through what we are doing in our mental atmosphere to attract the good we want. Correction. This entire chapter takes us through and reminds us that we are creating the mental atmosphere that attracts everything we experience, whether we label it in the human psyche as good or bad. And that is why we have to also, the work of the law of attraction is to remove all of the false beliefs, to notice them and to deny them power, and to replace them with affirmations of what we want. So as we close out today, what's an affirmation that you use that really helps you to use the law of attraction? What's an affirmation that has worked for you to replace a false belief and to keep you firmly planted in the soil of attracting good into your life? If you can put it in the chat, or if you want to volunteer to share, we've got a couple of minutes, because this is what makes it work. Ryan, what have you got? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing some affirmations coming in, all
Yes.
very lovely, and I'll
Yes.
read some here in just a minute. But I wanted to give Connie a chance to ask her question or comment. So, Connie, would you like to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, everybody. Hi.
Hey, Connie.
What I say frequently and really frequently is I am happy, I am healthy, I am financially abundant, and I am free to make new choices. And I go with that a lot.
Oh, I love that. I'm just like taking it in. And you're right. One of the ways we know we're using the law of attraction is when we feel like it expands us, not contracts us. So that's beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just going to read a few of these off. This one I love because I use it as well, too. And so it is. And more. I always try to use and more on everything I do. I have great work and I am thriving financially.
Ooh, nice.
All my relationships and communications are loving now. And now. I had to read that twice. I am healthy, whole, I am complete.
Beautiful.
I am present, I am here, it is now.
Ooh,
Okay.
love that.
So those are just some of the few that I see that have been coming in. So we love to hear your affirmations. And also it's great for other people to see them too, so they can use them in their daily life.
You are so correct. And that's what we do in the Sunday morning Science of Mind class. Not only do we delve into what exactly did Ernest Holmes write and what did it mean? Because sometimes I can read exactly what he wrote, but I'm not quite sure what it means. But what did he write? What does it mean? And how do I apply it in my life? So thank you for sharing your affirmations in the chat, because how we apply this is what actually makes it work. It only works if we work it. And so I'm glad that you're sharing those. Anybody else, if you are thinking of them, drop your affirmations in the chat too. Ryan, one or two more, and then we're going to close out for today.
Yeah, so I'd like to call in Dennis. Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yeah, good morning. This is real quick about the affirmation. This just happened to me yesterday. I thought, well, how cool. I mean, and it has to do with practicing too, applying practices. Anyway, whatever the situation at hand yesterday, and I go, just all of a sudden, I thought, oh my gosh, it just keeps getting better. And I immediately thought to myself, remember that about everything.
It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. The Science of Mind class just keeps getting better week after week after week. Yes, I'm accepting that as a gift. I'm going to be using that same affirmation. My life just keeps getting better and better. Better and better. Better and better. That is how we're going to end today. Dennis, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for being a part of this week's Science of Mind class every Sunday morning at CSLDallas, live streaming on Facebook. Please join us. Please invite others to join us as we explore the Science of Mind written by Ernest Holmes. Go with me this week knowing that life is just getting better and better. See you next week.